at the end of the day, we're going to cover your local news. We're going to be dedicated to agriculture. Ag is such a huge part of our industry. We're obviously, if you're tuning in the radio, you know that. You're going to see that in our news, but then you're also going to see that local sports coverage as well as the local news coverage as well.
Find WHOW 1520 on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. Well, Mr. Clapp, the burning question for everybody is, how much basketball did you watch on your spring break there in Monticello?
I watched a lot of basketball. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Watched the women's tournament, the men's tournament. Kind of weird not having a true Cinderella team in it on the men's side this year.
Yeah.
It's hard to say Texas is a Cinderella as an 11 seed, but yeah, hopefully Illinois can make a little bit of a run here. And it's going to be weird if we can get past Houston. I read something this morning that Houston has a home game, but they've never dealt with this amount of corn with Illinois, Iowa, and Nebraska all being in the same region there. So
yeah.
It'll be fun.
No doubt. Yeah. I feel like Illinois, after that Florida loss last night, they've got as good of a chance to get to the Final Four as we've had in probably since that 2006 team. So that was,
I agree.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I don't know how you feel about it, but I wouldn't have pegged this team coming into the year to be a Final Four contender. And then about December, January, you're like, gosh, this team looks pretty darn good, So that's kind of the unknown of the NIL era, right? Is you just don't know what you've got year to year.
Right. Well, it took, about a month to figure out who was on the team. And then you see, like, I don't know if we've ever had a team this long and athletic. It's just absolutely wild with NIL. The unknowns of it, who knows what's going to come on the roster next year.
I know, right? What's going to look like next year? Sure. Yeah. Let's just get to the Final Four this year, and then we'll worry about next year. But
exactly right.
And that women's game was a lot of fun. I sat down and watched that game the other night. They played really well. I didn't even know Illinois women were in the tournament.
Yeah, they're great. Shauna has them going. Like she's awesome. So yeah, they play tonight at 6. Hopefully they can get past Vanderbilt. It's playing at Vanderbilt, so that'll be tough. But Sean will have them ready to go.
There's going to be some folks probably stopping in Nashville on their way back from North Carolina, right? Like there's definitely
of course. I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we have some orange in the crowd for sure.
Definitely. So all right, enough about basketball, Mr. Clapp. We got to dive into the business of Monticello schools. And one thing I believe when we were talking about this off the air, my memory started to come back that I think we have talked about, and I didn't realize it at the time, but Monticello schools jumping into kind of the instructional coach arena. You didn't call it an instructional coach, which is why it threw me off there for a second. But give us the background on this situation where you are at this point.
Yeah, so last year, probably around this time, we were throwing around the idea of instructional coaching and support for our teachers, especially at the elementary buildings, in curriculum support. So we weren't ready to just jump in and start with a job title of instructional coach. So what we did was we had somebody very interested in that type of position, and we created a position as a pilot called teacher on special assignment. So we had a teacher on special assignment. We catered the job to be an instructional coach and curriculum support for our elementary schools, K through 5, so Washington and Whiteheath. And Chelsea Thomas acted as our curriculum coordinator K through 5 this past year, and they worked together to support our teachers. And that went so well that we've changed that teacher on special assignment, or TOSA for short is what we've been calling it, changed that title to instructional coach. So Miranda Klink did an outstanding job in that pilot year this year supporting our teachers. So we're making that position a permanent position now, and we're expanding and adding another instructional coach that will also support grades 6 through 12. So I think the big piece of that is, we're seeing a lot of curriculum updates. We've updated math in the last 5 years. We just updated our ELA curriculum in K through 3. The amount of work that goes into implementing that curriculum with fidelity and effectively, we need this extra layer of support for our teachers, and that way our kids are reaping the benefit. And it went very well this year, well enough that we're making that decision to move forward with permanent positions.
Yeah, a couple of things on that.
And I really,
go ahead.
yeah. Well, I was just going to say, and for us, we really liked the idea at this time last year, but what really solidified it was establishing that teacher on special assignment, basically building the program the way we needed it to support our staff and students here. And so we've spent this past school year developing it exactly how we want it. And we feel like it's going to be even better next year.
Yeah. Yeah. So what from your perspective, what does an instructional coach look like? You talked about the updates of curriculum. How does an instructional coach, how do they help in those circumstances? What does that look like?
So for us, we assist in creating resources for teachers. We are teacher on special assignment this year, modeled lessons at different grade levels with new instructional practices, and then as well as support our young staff with coaching cycles. So it's like instead of having the principal and assistant principal in an observation and evaluation process, we have instructional support through our teacher on special assignment / instructional coach to give that informal feedback on specific instructional strategies that go along with the curriculum. So, we have the curriculum support, the modeling of lessons, and then the coaching cycles have been huge this year. And I think another thing that we did most recently with Mrs. Thomas and Mrs. Klink is what we've called lunch and learns. So they're grade level meetings during lunch. We're able to talk about instructional practices, have a little Monocle's pizza, and really have some good conversations between grade levels. So that's the challenge when you're working in an elementary school, is having common prep time for your grade level team is difficult in one sense, but it's really difficult to have common playing time for the first grade team and the second grade team to get together and have these valuable conversations about reading instruction and math instruction and what's going well at the first grade level and what's going well at the seventh grade level. Well, we've developed this lunch and learn program that's been very effective and very powerful to have these conversations, and we can make adjustments like, hey, this is something that's going really well in first grade. I think we can use it to kind of set the foundation for things that are going to be happening in second grade. So overall, it's just opening the door for having better conversations around instruction, and we love it.
Yeah. So how was the process of deciding who your instructional coach would be? Was Mrs. Klink, was she in-house for your district? Like, what was that process like? What were you looking for in this individual?
So we posted the teacher on special assignment position last year, and there was people open to apply. And what we were looking for is someone who is, well respected by their peers, a curriculum expert, an instructional practice expert, and someone just another layer of support for teachers. And Miranda was able to fill those qualities, and she's just done an outstanding job this year. And then with the support of Mrs. Ryder, Mrs. Woodham, and then Mrs. Thomas as the curriculum coordinator K through 5, it's just been great. So we're really looking for someone who can collaborate well and facilitate conversations. And sitting as the superintendent, I enjoy going to the lunch and learns, not just for the Monocle's pizza, but for the conversations and just to see how invested our teachers are in doing what's best for kids. And I think that's the one thing, oftentimes we don't have time to have these valuable conversations. This has been a platform to have those conversations. It's been awesome.
So what has the response been like from your staff? Because I could see it going both ways. There's some staff where it's like, this is a good thing, we need this, it's much needed. And then there's other staff that may be apprehensive because it's a little different. Maybe they feel like there's a hierarchy with this position. How about those things?
I think the challenge is with anything new, it's met with, I wouldn't say resistance, but with just a little bit of anxiety of what this all mean. And so we had some growing pains throughout the year, but we've really hit our stride, in making this something that is supportive of our teachers, and really diving into creating time to work with teachers to build resources that are going to support kids. And we've been looking at, I know mid-year, we started doing some release time for our grade level teams to work directly with the instructional coach in creating these unit plans and things that we're going to be able to establish a framework for how to be successful moving forward. So yeah, like anything that's new, we've had some growing pains, but we're really hitting our stride right now, and excited to continue it moving forward.
Definitely. How do you evaluate the effectiveness of this person? I mean, is it show up in your test scores, on the, like, say, the school report card? Is it in the feedback of teachers and how they feel about the value of this person? How do you evaluate the effectiveness of this position?
Short-term evaluation comes back to feedback and observation of the work that's being done. So being a part of those conversations in coaching cycles, or being a part of the conversations in the lunch and learns, and providing that platform is one way to receive feedback and see the value of this position. Long term, we're hopeful that our curriculum is being taught with fidelity across the grade level and consistency, and that will lead to greater outcomes on standardized testing. So at the end of the day, I think short term, you got to look at the day-to-day support of our teachers in the classroom and how we can effectively support them through curriculum change. And then long term, with that support, you're going to see positive effects on outcomes on standardized testing.
Sure. Interesting stuff. So moving forward with that, does it change at all next year, going into next year? Does the program expand at all? What's next for this?
So like I mentioned, we're going to, so the teacher on special assignment is becoming a permanent instructional coach. We're adding another instructional coach to the district that'll be more of a support of that 6-12 range. And then with the teacher on special assignment, that went very well. So we're also, and we've talked about it before, AI, artificial intelligence, and those types of things. We've created a teacher on special assignment titled Emerging Technology Specialist that's going to really create a teaching position that's going to be supportive in the technology side of things, and especially lead initiative of AI support and developing our AI policy, working directly with me and our AI work study group to establish policy and procedures to effectively use AI in schools. Somebody talked to me about a month ago. We were at a meeting, and AI is like being compared to the kind of the birthing of the internet back in the mid 90s when the internet became a thing, and except AI is doing it at a much faster rate. So we're going to take a really hard look at how AI can be used in an effective way, and especially I guess a way that's going to be supportive of teachers and students, and really dive into the ethical pieces of that as well, because at the end of the day, we want kids knowledgeable, and when they walk out our doors across the graduation stage, we want them fully equipped to be successful in the real world, and part of that is going to be knowing the ins and outs of AI, and also the ins and outs of the ethical use of AI.
Totally. Yep. There's no sense in ignoring that, right? I mean, like, that's such a huge player, and it's only gonna grow. It's like when, and I think Lisa Taylor up at Hayworth made this analogy to me a few months ago. It's like it would be like if you ignored the internet when it first came around. Like if you just ignored the internet and what it offered back in the day, like where would kids be if that was the case? So.
Correct.
Yeah.
And with that emergent technology specialist, we're going to take a deep dive look into how we use technology. So how we're using technology in the classroom every day. Are we using best practice when it comes to technology, and really having another layer of support of how to best support students through technology, and I think that's going to be a huge thing for us, just to evaluate how we do things on a daily basis here at Monticello.
Definitely very good. On that note, Mr. Clapp, let's break here. We'll come back with some more. Mr. Adam Clapp is the superintendent of Monticello Schools, my guest on the Zoom. More to come with Mr. Clapp on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Paul Scourin here, CEO of Warner Hospital. Spring allergies acting up? At Warner Hospital and Health Services, we offer fast treatment to help you breathe easier and feel better fast. Quality care right here, right now. Click on our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest on the Zoom today, Mr. Adam Clapp, superintendent of Monticello Schools. Mr. Clapp, it has been a heck of a sports season for your junior high level. More success this past week during spring break. What's going on?
Yeah, so our 8th grade volleyball team made a run at the state championship. They played on Friday night in the, I guess, first round of state. Beat Mantino, which was a really tough 3-set match, and then on Saturday they won the semifinal match against Quincy St. Peter, and then won the state championship against Staunton. So it was awesome, really cool. It was definitely worth sticking around over spring break and getting to see our kids perform at a high level. And we talked about it all year. This group, I've known these kids. They're part of my. I know all the kids in the district, but this group, my daughters have been friends with this group. They've grown up with them. It's really cool to see this group of girls succeed like they did. And it was absolutely wild just being a part of the ride. So 29-1 was their final record. And just a really exciting season.
Who's your junior high volleyball coach?
Yeah, so Hayes Murray is the 8th grade coach. She's a social worker here at Washington Elementary School. And then Kim Allison is our 7th grade coach.
Oh, that's really cool.
She's an art teacher at the middle school and our high school volleyball coach. And so Hayes is also the JV coach at the high school as well. So they get a lot of great instruction from those two. And it was just really cool to see these girls and these coaches have success. I think the parents were a little more stressed out than the kids were as far as the state run, but they did a really nice job. So really cool. I think the girls, they won the state championship, came back into town with a police and fire department escort. A lot of people up at the square welcoming them home, and then picking them up out at the middle school. It's just really special to see all those kids celebrate their success, get celebrated. And then when they got off the bus, I mean, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it, but they got off the bus and they were emotional. And, my daughter and the other kids get in their cars with their parents, and they're just sad the volleyball season was over. So really cool. Shout out to Hayes Murray for doing just a special job with these girls. And like I said, in the opening round of state, we were down in the third set, 23-18, and came all the way back and won at 27-25 to go on to the next level. So the girls never quit. It was a really fun season all the way around. But yeah, it's the first volleyball trophy at the middle school, first state championship at the middle school. It's since Xana Myers and Tatum McCall won a state championship in basketball back-to-back years. We had our 8th grade boys team got 3rd place at state this past year. And then, our wrestling team had a great showing at state as well. So, and we had just a great showing overall with this group of kids. So we're very excited for the future of Monticello High School sports as well.
Sure. Well, Mr. Clapp, what's kind of on the calendar these days? You got anything coming up for kids in the near future?
Yeah, so we jumped just out of spring break, so we are hitting the final quarter of the school year. So we have all the senior milestones coming up. So we'll have prom at the end of the month, end of April. And we're right in the middle of all of our spring sports. And I think middle school track actually starts today. So some of those volleyball girls that are track athletes, they celebrate a state championship on Saturday, and they'll be running on the track today. But yeah, so a lot of cool things. All the end of the year concerts, they'll be coming up. But it's just crazy to me, over spring break, I'm in the office and starting to think about next school year and next, FY27 budget, things like that. It's just crazy to me that we're already talking about that. And when it was 80 degrees outside, it was, you kind of see the summer coming, but then you wake up today and it's 28. We're right back to this is what spring is in Illinois.
It really is. It really is. Well, Mr. Clapp, on that note, how do folks follow along with all the things you have going on there in Monticello?
Yeah, check out our website, www.sages.us, or you can check me out on Twitter or X, or check out Sages Athletics on X.
Very good. Yep, all great follows. Mr. Clapp, always good to see you. We'll catch you in April. Can't believe we're in April already, but we'll see you there. Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest on the Zoom here this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way next on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.